Good evening, everybody. Sorry this is getting out to you so late, but it's your buddy ChopTalk doing another episode of Chop Talk MLB style for Tuesday. We had a full slate. It's kicking off in about 10 minutes. Can't do anything about that. But we do have express slates, and we do have a late night slate tonight of 5 games and 3 games respectively. We're going to bust all of those up, try and get that out to you in enough time to process and get you on that express slate because, to be quite honest with you, it's Tuesday. On Tuesdays and Fridays, we have 15-game full slates, and I typically tell my VIPs, fuck the main. I don't pay any attention to the main slate. It's way too big. It's a lot of information to process. It's a crapshoot sometimes anyway. I would rather hone things down, get down to smaller games, 4-game, 5-game slates, and then put you on the correct plays then and give you a better chance at winning. Because if you make 3 lineups, 4 lineups, 5 lineups, things like that, now you're able to cover a few bases that are actually going to hit, whereas you can't barely touch any of the combinations possible on a larger slate, and it's going to wind up making you need to get lucky in order to actually win some money on those slates most times. Doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means it's a little bit easier on those smaller slates. So let's dive in and let's cut off the research station here. Oopsie, I'm on the wrong page already. I need to get on the starting matchups page for pitchers, and then I can get over here to the 8 o'clock games only, and we'll start with those. Remember what we're going to do. We're going to select pitchers by starting pitchers by K percentage, and then we're going to take a look at who we might want to use as quickly as possible to get you information into your hands. Once I've sorted all these guys up to the top, I'm going to run down the K percentage and see that's a 499. It's a 500 something for DeGrom. Pretty good number. Now we're looking at 470 for Flaherty, 490 for Morton, 510 for Buehler, 420, 450 for Hamels. Hamels has been good lately. We might want to take a peek at that. When I look at who's priced up, Flaherty jumps out at me. That's about it. I jump over here, and I'm already looking at names like Flaherty, Buehler. I don't need to pay all the way up. DeGrom's in a nice spot. 96 rating, 84, 82 for Cole. It's something sniffing on him. Jump over here to the Vegas odds. Line that up. Flaherty 150, Morton 180, Buehler 220. Flaherty and Buehler are still the ones that are popping for me already. Come back over here. I think Flaherty, Morton, Buehler, Hamels, DeGrom. DeGrom's awfully expensive. Facing Chicago, wind might be out. I don't know if there's a rain problem or not. You're going to have to double check that one. Flaherty facing Pittsburgh, not a terrible situation. Morton facing Oakland might lay off of that one given what Oakland did to them last night and did to Garrett Cole. Walker Buehler facing Texas. That's in Texas, being that LA is not yellow. That's a hitter's ballpark. Cole Hamels in New York again. That's at Wrigley. So I might be defaulting to Flaherty. I don't mind running some Walker Buehler just as a hedge, but I'm probably on Flaherty on the main or on the majority of my lineups. Now what I'm going to do, now that I know that I've got Flaherty, I'm going to sort this by ascending order. We're going to bring the junk to the top, and we see 2 pitchers we can attack. So write down LA and Houston. Now we're going to scroll over to implied odds in the Vegas section again. Opponent runs, descending, and it doesn't look like we've got much to work. There we go, 6 and a 5. So the top 2 teams again. So you're not always going to get a ton of teams to pick from. Sometimes you're just dealing with the best of the best. LA and Houston again. Now we'll look for the double reds. Come over here to the WOBA, go descending. I don't have my other graphic in front of me showing me what offenses have performed the best over the last 30 days and what teams have given up massive ERAs over the last 30 days. So I've got to fly without that tonight. I'm looking over here. I would be picking on Junis. Then I might do righties against Jackson and Hamels. Then I might do lefties against Huardo and Nova. So let's try and remember that. I'm doing this mostly from memory. Jackson and Hamel righties. Houston, New York Mets righties. Houston, New York Mets righties. Circle that R. Down here, Norton and Huardo. So that's St. Louis, LA Dodgers, lefties. And Junis got both. That's Detroit. But because LA and Houston are already on here, they're 2.5 stars each. Houston, LA Dodgers. And now we've got to run with St. Louis, the Mets, and Detroit sort of as GPP offenses. So put Detroit on there first because they can get both sides of the plate. Then we'll run St. Louis and New York Mets. And now we're going to dive in. Now that we've got 5 offenses targeted, we're going to key really highly on the top 2, Houston and LA. Houston righties, LA lefties, and we're going to dive into the trends tab. Same thing, I have to jump off here and just click the 8 o'clock games. I'm going to take the L7 WOBA here and I'm going to sort it by greater than 350. And then I'm going to sort it by descending so that it brings all the hot stuff to the top. Now the first thing I'm going to do is click on Houston. This doesn't have to take long, guys. Look really quickly for anyone priced up. About 1,000 is about the break point. Looks like a lot of these guys are actually priced down. Only Bregman is about normal. The others are less than $1,000, which tells me that DraftKings might not be as excited about this matchup as we had originally thought. And we're looking for right-handed bats. That'd be Tyler White, Bregman, switch hitter, so all of them. White, Bregman, Gonzalez, Springer, Maldonado. Why he's in there twice, I don't know. But you're running pretty good. I'd stay in these top few if I could up here. Now I'm going to look for LA lefties. Just the one, Muncy. Seen Jock Peterson's name mentioned a lot today, and to be honest with you, he's not on this list. I can fade the guy, especially at $3,100 or whatever. Some of these guys running hot: Kiki, Chris Taylor, even a little Justin Turner, who's cooled off considerably. Here's the thing. To cool off considerably off of a 509 WOBA down to a 393, you have to have hit about a 250 or so the last week to do that to yourself, about a 300 WOBA to do that to yourself. Hitting a 300 WOBA is not what I'm looking for. I can be off of Justin Turner easily. A lot of people might chase him down. I can be off him. He is priced up, though. He's priced way up. And Muncy's priced up. And Chris Taylor's priced up. I'd take Muncy and Taylor, to be honest with you, and I'd take Kiki Hernandez. Those would be the 3 guys I'd be on in that offense. Now look at Detroit really quick since they attack both sides of the plate. Matuk and Iglesias. The only ones running hot. Iglesias is very borderline. You might run Mahatuk as a one-off. The rest of the offense might do well tonight. Damned if I know where it's going to come from. I hate those situations. I really do. If you want to stack the offense, you're not going to hear me complain. Tyler O'Neill's the only hot guy running in the St. Louis offense, which is odd. Look how much he's priced up on DraftKings. Great one-off. New York Mets. I don't know if I trust attacking Cole Hamels tonight. He's been really good lately. Mets are a little bit hot if you want to do it. Might be a little bit contrarian. You've got yourself some Jay Bruce, Dominic Smith. I don't know that I would trust Todd Frazier. So today may be one of those days where you run kind of a 3-3-2 or a 3-2-2 or something like that, and you're really just kind of bouncing around. You're going to lean a little bit more towards cash, 10-man, 20-man leagues, things like that, because you look like you're going to be a little bit more balanced, a little bit more spread out. If you want to go ahead and stack and take your chances, that's great. That's a GPP method, but I wouldn't be doing that in my normal hybrid type lineups. I might spread out a little bit more, and I might not be playing a lot of the 100-man lineups as a result, 100-man leagues. It's just my tip to you. Now, when I'm going to kick over here, reset the system, we're going to go right back into it with the 10 o'clock games and hit these 3 games. So we got to sort by K percentage again. There's a 500K score out of Ramirez, but there's not going to be a lot of, well, there's a decent amount of total batters faced. I'd be watching this one to see that he's getting 4, 5, 6 innings worth of work. You're going to have to double check that one, but if it checks out, he looks good. 5,500 tells me he's a reliever getting the start. That's not good. But look at the Vegas odds. No overwhelming favorites. Don't need to worry about any of that. Looking for priced up stuff. Buckholes, not so much. Freeland, don't know. Freeland's not a strikeout pitcher. There's really nothing on this slate that's appealing. You might target a team like San Diego that strikes out a lot. Boy, that's tough. I don't think I'd want to run Bumgarner against Arizona. If I'm looking at the way I look at things normally, I'm just looking right here, and I'm probably taking a pretty even spread. If I had 3 lineups, I'd probably take one of each guy, and hopefully we'll see some offenses. We could focus on just Colorado or just Arizona or something like that, and that would allow us to rotate the pitchers through that instead of picking a pitcher for 3 lineups and rotating bats through it. If that makes sense. I just don't see anything really popping here as some overwhelming favorite, and that's okay. That happens on occasion. So when we look at the ratings for the bad pitcher here, well, we've only got one guy to really pick on, maybe 2. That's Freeland and Nix. A lot of people are mentioning Nix. Seattle and LA. Those should be okay batting targets. So LA and Seattle. All right. Now I've got to go over here to the Vegas odds again. Take a look at the opponent runs. Nobody's really impressive except down there at the very, very bottom. That was Seattle. Yikes. Let's look for some double reds and see if we don't find anything there. Felix Hernandez, definitely attackable tonight. Maybe Ramirez down there. So San Diego, Colorado. So we really don't have any 3-star offenses. We've got a 2-star in Seattle, maybe, and then a bunch of one-offs. So again, it's not really a dominant situation. So now what I'm going to do when I see that is I'm going to treat them all pretty much the same. And I'm going to run into, turn that one off, just showing you what I do when I go researching things, because I now have no clear direction for bats. This slate is a crapshoot. I probably wouldn't even play it. So I'm going to try and get you out of here as quickly as possible. But since we've already got things sorted by 350 or higher, I'm going to resort that by descending order. And now I'm just going to go team by team. There's my hot bats in Arizona, and it looks like they're cooling off. But it looks like a couple of them are running okay. Might take 2 or 3 bats out of there. Colorado, running better. Just came out of their hometown, though. Maybe they cool off a little bit on the road. Maybe they keep rocking. Don't know, but these are your playables. Decent amount of playables. You could stack Arizona. You could stack Colorado. If Trout comes back. I guess he is back with 17 plate appearances the last 14 days. You might take a little bit. You might look at Ohtani. Trout's always playable even when he's cold. Blash or Marte get the starts. You might look at them. I don't know that I would. San Diego was listed on our offenses. Reyes, Galvis, Renfroe, Ellis if they get starts in Ellis. Top 3 probably playable. Reyes more than anything. Yikes. Seattle's the only 2-star. Cruz is running hot. That's a good sign watching him come up from 316 to 520. Haniger from a 400 to a 490 is a good sign. They're in the best spot tonight theoretically. I will mention this, when a pitcher makes his debut, a lot of times it's advantage pitcher, so you might want to temper your expectations. But on paper, it looks like Seattle is in fact the best offense to stack. So I might start there, and I might run twosies and onesies and twosies around it. Cruz, Haniger, maybe Span. Herman if he gets a start. Not so much Healy. Zunino's been hot lately. It was really cold there for a couple of weeks, and he heated up, hit a couple of home runs, so maybe that's where I'd go. Rounded out with San Francisco, nothing doing. Another way that you can do this is you can sort through, now that you've got them sorted, you can sort through the offenses. Since first base and catcher are combined on Fanduel, you might look at these, see where you go here. These are your hottest first base and catchers. You might run a Iannetta, Walters, Marte, a couple of these guys in there. You might stay off the expensive guys. Then you run over to second base. LeMahieu and Marte are the only 2 that it looks like are usable. LeMahieu more than anyone. Third base, McMahon and Arenado, both Colorado Rockies. Shortstop, Freddie Galvis only. Interesting. I mean, it's interesting. This is making your lineup for you. And then all of your outfielders to choose from. So if you believe the numbers, you believe the trending L7 WOBAs, now you've got 1 shortstop, a couple of third basemen, a couple of second basemen. Your core is built. cheaper first base and second and catchers, and then you can get out there into the outfield and run some Ohtani, some Mike Trout, maybe some Cruz and Haniger, maybe some Blackmon to complete your Arenado stack, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff, and you're still going to be different than the world. Even though the options seem very, very limited, that's what the slate's offering us. That's what you're going to key on, and that's what you're going to take, unless you're going to go off the beaten path in GPPs. We'll see how it works out. Let me know how it worked out for you. To be honest with you, I don't like that 3-game slate, that late slate. I like the earlier 5-game slate. So I'm going to wrap this up, get this out of here for you. It's 2 slates broken down in 15 minutes, going on about 16 by the time we click the stop button. As always, tools, content, coaching, dfsarmy.com. Use coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. Get in here, save that 10%. Open up the keys to this tool. You see my process. Take it on your own schedule. Don't wait for me to maybe drop a video. We're transitioning into NFL. We're going to be doing the same thing. Check out my quarterbacks. Check out my running backs on YouTube. Scroll through those lineups, those videos, and go catch some of those and see how I'm using the research station to build those and start keying in on week 1 values or week 1 basic chalk plays where we strip everything down to the very, very basics and start working from there. So take a look. Share me, tweet me, whatever you want to do, but come inside, be a VIP inside DFS Army. That's where we can talk a lot more one-on-one about the coaching, a lot more in my coaching room, where we've got a few regulars that can help you out because they've learned my process too. Guys are having success nightly. That's how we do it inside DFSArmy.com. Come back and see me. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.